Hello everyone, welcome to this online course C Programming for Beginners. In this course, we'll learn about the C programming and we'll learn how to write programs in C with lots of examples. So to begin with, let's first start with a basic introduction to our computers, to the computers. So a computer, has two parts, which is a hardware part, which is a tangible part, which you can see and touch. And there is one more part, which is called software. So the software is not touchable part. So to begin with, what is a program or a software? A program is a set of instructions that a computer follows to perform a task. A programmer writes a program for a specific purpose. So for an example of a program, it can be as complex as a operating systems like your Windows operating system, Linux operating system, or a Macintosh Mac operating system. Or it can be your browsers like your Internet Explorer, Mozilla, Chrome, etc. Or your social networking sites like Facebook, Twitter, or it may be your mobile applications like games, mobile applications, or it can be as simple as your calculator, Gmail, Outlook, and even your camera software, a software inside your watch, which is also a software or a program. So we can see by the definition that a program is a set of instructions that computer follows. Now we'll learn about what is C program. So as you can see that C is a programming language that was developed at AT&T's Bell Laboratories of USA in 1972, which means C is 40 plus years old and still it's popular. Still people are learning C programming, still people are engaged into C programming. Still in 2016, C has a relevant existence. So it was basically designed and written by a man named Dennis Ritchie. I personally, has lots of respect for this guy, Dennis Ritchie. And then after he developed it, C became very popular, and quickly C becomes very popular language, programming language among the programmers. And it started to replace, at that time, very familiar programming languages like Algol, PL and I, and etc. So why the C became very popular? There is it's very reliable, it's simple, easy to use and understand, and moreover, the industry where the new languages, tools, and technologies emerge and vanish day in and day out, a language that has survived for more than 40 years, has to be really good that you can understand. Correct? Now coming to the computer hardware part, a term hardware refers to all the physical devices or components that a computer is made of. A computer is not a single device, but a system of devices that all work together. Like us, like our human body, we have multiple organs to work for. Similarly, a computer has multiple components to work for. And among them, what are they? Let's take a look what are these components are, So if we go ahead and see what is the best important part about a computer is the CPU. A CPU, which is called Central Processing Unit, is the nerve system of the computer. Then comes the random access memory. So RAM is called random access memory, or it's a main memory to the computer. Then comes the hard drives. Then comes the input devices, which are keyboard, mouse, joysticks, etc. Then the output devices, which are monitors, projectors, printers, etc. Now, if you look at the picture, so here comes the a basic architecture of the computer. So we have a central processing unit over here. Basically, we have heard the terms that computer processor. So a processor is nothing but the CPU, or a central processing unit, which is compared to our human body as a nerve system. A main memory, random access memory, is nothing but a memory to store data, but RAM is used to store data temporarily. When a program is running, at that time the computer brings all the data into RAM and does all the operations on the RAM. And secondary storage device, as we can see, this storage device is used to store the data for permanently. Permanently in the sense, if you turn off your computer, then also the data remains there. So that's the static storage. Okay. Now these sides are the basically your input devices, which you can see as a your keyboard, your joystick, or a mouse, or your touchpad. This can be your input devices. So these, and we human beings put the input to the computer through these devices, and these are the output devices, basically like your monitor, like a printer, or your speaker, or a TV output. That can be your output devices. So basically, as a system, like if you think a computer as a human body, human system, like we have our own input devices, like our eyes, we see through our eyes, we hear from our ears, and also we have some output, like we speak from our mouth, right? So that is an output coming from us, from inside of us. Similarly, a computer also has all these things like a human body. It has a processing unit which processes the data. It has a storage of data. It has the input devices, and it has the output devices. Now, let's come to the topic, a computer software. We know a program. What is a program, right? So similar to a program, a software is a nothing but a program which is set of instructions. We call it as a software. Computer programs, clearly fit into two categories. So one is the system software. System softwares are basically the operating systems, like your Windows, Linux, Macintosh OS, something like that. Or it can be a utility programs like your the scanners, your antivirus scanner, your file compression programs like zip program or something like that, or a data backup programs. Or a software can be your application software. Basically, an application software is a program to make a computer useful because it has an application. For example, your Microsoft Word, a Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint. These are some utility softwares that have been used by many users, right? You take an example of email programs, web browsers. So these are basically application softwares.